Hello again. Part 3 of Just One More. When Desires Don't Take No for an Answer by Mr. Edward T. Welch. Why do you want to change? So let's assume that you are sitting on the fence. You want to change, but you don't want to change. Sometimes, or something has to get you off the fence. Why should you want to change? Since our motives and intentions are so important, we need a good reason to change. If you are trying to change because of pressure from your family or friends, that isn't all bad. But eventually, as you know, it's not going to last. If you simply fear being caught, that certainly won't last. The only reason that can take us through the tough times is God. It should be enough for God to simply say to me, to you, to us, stop it. After all, God is God. He made us. He is not to be trifled with. But for some reason, God speaks differently than we would expect. He is patient and he speaks gently to us. He actually woos us like a bridegroom courting his bride. He tries to make a relationship with him look as attractively as it really is. He is the one who says, I love you first. One way he does this is by inviting us to a banquet more wonderful than we can imagine. Come all of you who are thirsty, come to the waters. And you have no money, come buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk without money and without cost. Why spend money on what is not bread and your labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good, and your soul will delight in the riches of fare. Isaiah 55, 1, verse 2. This is reason to change. Have you ever received an invitation so beautiful? Probably not. When was the last time you were invited to something incredibly costly, and the only thing you had to bring was nothing? If you did receive such an invitation, you would probably look for the fine print. There would have to be a catch, and there is. The catch is that bringing nothing is too much for most people. We come to the door and offer sobriety, great sorrow, self-loathing, and promises to be better tomorrow. But God asks for nothing. In fact, He requires nothing. Anything else disrespects the greatness of God, His generosity, and underestimates the cost of the feast. It would be like slipping a buck to someone who just saved your life and telling him, here, have a cup of coffee on me. If you want to do something, be humbled by the love bestowed on you. Be thankful for the gift you could never repay. Remember every day that it was not free. The reason we are able to enter with nothing is because Jesus Christ, He paid the full price for our entrance. This is why the cross of Christ is the focus of so much praise. It was there that Jesus paid our way to a banquet with the Father. We honor Him when we simply believe and enter. John chapter 6, verse 29. What happens when you hear someone talk about Jesus? The mention of His name. should provoke something in you. If you weren't expecting it, what are you thinking? Been there, done that. Are you thinking? Jesus is fine. But what does that have to do with what I'm struggling with? If you were expecting him to be brought up, does he nevertheless seem less and less relevant to you? Despite these reactions, the truth is that addictions are spiritual problems. Yes, they're very core. The struggle in our life always points back to our relationship with God. Whether it is a hassle with a spouse, parent who didn't care, problems at work, or an addiction that rarely takes no for an answer. The way we live before others always points back to our relationship with God. If you are angry with others, you are angry with God. If you believe you can get away with wrong thinking or behavior, it is because you don't believe that God is near. If you are careless with your life because you think there is no hope, then you don't believe that you are lovingly invited to the banquet. If you aren't moved by the fact that God offers you this invitation, something is wrong that goes deeper than addiction. Your Creator loves you, even though He knows you through and through. He desires to be with you. If you don't really care, then you are beginning to see how your life is an expression of your relationship with God. You prefer that God leave you alone. More than that, you are saying, God, I want to be the God. I'm going to be the God. And you have already seen how hard that can be. You ever tried playing God? So you are stuck right on the fence. Some people want to be stuck because it gives them more time to indulge in that addiction that they're dealing with. Some people want to be hopeless because then their conscience can condemn them for doing one more. Some people want to be stuck because it beats worshiping God. Our motivations are trickier than we really think they are. If we don't realize that they are mixed, guess who we're lying to? We're lying to ourselves. A change in behavior requires a new motive. A new motives take their first step by responding to God's invitation to the banquet. Not sure about this? Tell you what, go public with your questions or go public with your doubts. Bring what is hidden or quiet. Bring it out in the open and watch what happens. Talk to someone whose walk with God you respect.